All right, well, it's the Thursday before the new update, and the autumn update is here, and it's called In the Shadows of Leaves. The maintenance times will be your normal maintenance times at 2 a.m. on August 29th Central Time and 7 o'clock a.m. Universal Time. So briefly, what's in this update is the alternate German battleships in early access, and I believe those are really German Battlecruisers. The new Bushido Campaign with the Japanese Tier VIII battleship Musashi as the main reward, and that is the sister of the Yamato, so that's very exciting. Then there's the Legendary Transformers collaboration will return. 2 legendary carriers will be in the Bureau, and to access those Bureau projects, you'll be able to buy those in the store, either for doubloons or credits, and we'll go into that a little bit more later. Then there is a very special Majestic Days event with a free premium ship as a reward. This is kind of like the treasure hunt, sort of, I think. And 3 ranked seasons are coming and more. So first off, here is the Redeemer code. And you go to the normal WOWSlegends.com Redeemer Code website. I'll have a link to that down below. And you will get 2 common containers with that Redeemer Code. So the first thing up is the German battleships arriving for us. As I said, these are battle cruisers. And the first one is the Tier 4 Derflinger, Tier 5 Mackensen, Tier 6 Prinz Henrik, and a Tier 7 Zeiten, and those will all be in early access crates. You'll be able to get those crates starting September 1st. The Tier 8 Ruperk, sorry if I didn't pronounce that right, but that will be available starting in the next update as per usual. So you'll be able to get the Tier 4, 5, 6, and 7 ships in early access here. So the sonar will be available in these ships in Tier 5 and above. So you want to check that out. That should be pretty interesting. Battle cruisers are ships like the Graf Spee. So it'd be interesting to see if these are a little bit more robust than the Graf Spee, because battle cruisers are generally cruisers with battleship guns. So they can outmatch normal conventional cruisers with their battleship guns. But they have the speed, being a cruiser class hull, they have the speed to outrun a lot of these other ships. So certainly other battleships have the speed to outrun the battleships. So there you go on the early access ships. The Bushido Campaign is next, and that is the Tier 8 Musashi. So it is, let me see here, Musashi has the 18-inch 460 millimeter guns and massive amount of HP as the Yamato, but there are probably going to be some statistical differences between the Musashi and the Yamato, so I don't think it's going to be a clone of the Yamato. Time will tell, though. Structure of the campaign is the same, 5 weeks of progression with 100 milestones, and there is a catch-up mechanic. Heroic effort missions for seasoned salty dogs are in place as well. So let's check out the prizes that you're going to get in the Bushido Campaign. Without Admiralty backing, you'll get 40 common boosters, and you will get 8 each of the following camouflages. Type 1, Type 2, European, Red, White, and Blue, Regia Marina, Revolutionary, Union Jack, Victory camos, and you will also get 247,500 Commander XP, 225,000 credits, 7,250 a global XP, 14 promotion orders and insignia and accommodation, 8 days premium account, a summer big crate, 2 fall big crates, a Japanese commander crate, a patch background and a patch symbol, and a commemorative flag. And the value of the rewards without Admiralty backing is 18,000 doubloons, just under $80 or so. Additionally, in addition to the above rewards, for 2,500 doubloons, you will get 40 more rare boosters. You get 12 Type 1, Type 2 European Red, White, and Blue, Regia Marina, Revolutionary, Union Jack, and Victory camouflages, 12 each of all those. You'll get an additional 137,500 Commander XP, additional 3,225,000 credits, 32,750 global XP, 26 more promotion orders, 3 more insignias, 3 more commendations, 750 doubloons. I always wonder why they throw that in there, but okay. 6 more summer big crates, 5 fall big crates, and of course the Japanese Tier VIII premium battleship Musashi. And the total value of the rewards with the 2,500 doubloon Admiralty backing is 75,600 doubloons, a little bit over $280. Next up is the Transformers Go Legendary. So the Transformers are back, and that includes commanders, ship skins, and containers from September 1 throughout the update until October 3. So you've got quite a bit of time to get the Transformers and check them out in the store. If you completed the current campaign and you've got the Republic in the store, there will be a legendary ship skin for the Republic, so you want to check that out. Right, so next up is the aircraft carriers, and they are the long-awaited legendary tier aircraft carriers, which will be available as Bureau projects. They are the Midway and the Haryuku. Both projects are obtainable from the store for credits or doubloons, and they are here to stay. However, the option to purchase them for doubloons will cease to be available once the next update arrives. So please take that into account when planning your resource spending. So you'll still be able to get them for silver credits, but you won't be able to buy them for doubloons. And it is interesting that Bureau projects now appear to be something that you're going to have to buy in the store or the forge, as was the case for the Colbert in the last update here. So they are looking to, I don't know, possibly either generate revenue by having Bureau projects in the store or limiting the access of Bureau projects to players that have dedicated some resources to the game. There was always this talk about legendary ships being available to players that don't really have much experience, and there was some thought that maybe by making them available in the forge for X number of steel or in the store would somehow limit that and kind of force some more experienced players to get legendary ships. I don't know if that's actually true or not, but this seems to be a way to tamp that down a little bit. So anyway, let's get into the last sentence or so here about the 2 ships. The Midway is the ship with the biggest HP pool compared to all of her aircraft carrying peers, and her bombers provide long-range torpedo strikes. Well, so that would be great to have long-range torpedoes on these airplanes. The Haryuku brings fast planes with extremely short squadron restoration times, allowing for more strikes during battle. So it'll be interesting to see what their regeneration rates are like, because unless you do pre-dropping, a lot of times you do run out of aircraft, and I for one have gotten kind of burnt out on pre-dropping, so I don't really do that too much anymore. So a good restoration time is something I personally look forward to. And then next up is the ranked seasons. Ranked turns 30. So with seasons 29, 30, and 31 awaiting us in this update, there will be 4 versus 4 battles, no carriers, only 1 destroyer per team, and it's the perfect opportunity to show off your skills and earn some prizes, including steel, progression items, and more. Stay tuned to find out more in the upcoming dedicated blog post before the first season starts on September 1. So you want to check the blog posts. I'll have links to those blog posts down below. It's basically, I think it's the same link that the patch notes are on, and the patch notes will be listed down below, but you just click on the next entry on the link here and you'll be able to find that information. All right, next is Mobile Legends are here. Save the date. On September 5, Legends will become available for captains in Canada and the Philippines via their mobile devices. Accessing the game from mobile will allow you to use almost the entire list of features that consoles provide, except a few. Most importantly, aircraft carriers, with matchmaking being fully cross-platform. We'll announce more details down the line in a special blog post. All right, so watch out for those blog posts. Next up is Majestic Days, and like I said earlier, this seems a little bit like the treasure hunt to me. Sort of. It's probably not exactly the same thing, but let's see what they say here. Welcome, the first and hopefully of many special in-game event. Your assignment is pretty straightforward. Log in each day. Starting September 12, complete dedicated tasks. Any that you miss can be retrieved for small sums of doubloons. So just like the treasure map, you can probably open one of these boxes up here for maybe 250 doubloons a piece. So if you calculate that out, you'll see how many doubloons it would take to buy the whole thing out. Maybe, I don't know. For 3 weeks, get an array of goods. All right. The ultimate prize waiting for you at the end of week 3 is a Royal Navy premium battleship, Agincourt, or Agincourt. You can read more about her in the next section. All right. So new ships of the update, the American Tier VII premium cruiser Wichita is back. Oh, wow. That is absolutely awesome. Wichita was a great ship that a lot of people wish that they had. I think I started completing campaigns with the Roma, and I think the Wichita was the campaign before the Roma, and I missed out on the Wichita, so it would be great to get the Wichita back. All right, let's see what they say here about the Wichita. The release of this ship marks a new approach regarding some of her peers, considered by the game design team and many of you a bit too good to oversaturate the game with. Most recent one I can think of is the Avemer. Okay, so let's continue. We've decided to retire some of those ships, essentially confirming that they are not going to be available anymore in their current forms and are going to now be referred to as Collector's Edition. Okay, so the Wichita I was hoping for is apparently going to be a Collector's Edition Wichita, or simply CE version. So I guess you see Wichita CE next to ship designation when you're out in a match. However, the new versions of these ships will be obtained for both their owners and any captains who don't have such boats, with some tweaks in their stats. So this could be like the original Coca-Cola recipe. Now they're implementing new Coke, is kind of what it seems like. It's sort of like it, but it doesn't really taste the same. Okay, Wichita is the first of the batch with her revamped version coming to the store on August 29th. So we'll be able to check that out immediately this coming Monday, with no time limit set for her availability at present. That's probably because it's been pretty much dumbed down. Okay, expect the following infamous ships to get the same treatment in the coming updates, but note that the list might change. American Tier 7 destroyer Summers and a German Tier 7 cruiser Mains. Well, after, okay, so I can start out with the Mains, because after my experience with the Veemer at Tier 6, the Mains is in no way, I feel, comparable to the Veemer. It's kind of sort of is, but it didn't have the maneuverability or the reload speed of the Veemer. So the Mains, I'm kind of surprised it's here. Summers, I guess, was pretty good, but I didn't think it was that good. But anyway, these are the lists of ships right here. So let's look at the differences between the Wichita Collector's Edition, the one that everybody really wants, and the new Wichita, which is what you got. The HE shell damage is decreased from 2,800 to 2,600. Okay, but the armor-piercing shell damage is increased from 4,000 to 4,200. So it looks like the new Wichita, the revamped Wichita, is getting a better armor-piercing shell damage. That's interesting. Armor-piercing guaranteed ricochet angle is decreased from 75 to 67.5 degrees. The armor-piercing fuse time increased from 1/100th to 3/100ths, it looks like here. So from 0.01 seconds to 0.033 seconds. So it's 3 times of an increase there. The armor piercing penetration is increased by 11%, so nothing wrong with that. Main battery shell grouping is decreased by 10%, so I guess it's going to be a little less accurate, but there's some numbers here that look to me at first glance like it is an increase. So all right, well, I guess we'll just have to see what we see. Next up is the British premium battleship Agincourt that you'll get from completing the Majestic Days. Let's see what's up with this. The ship was ordered by Brazil, purchased by the Ottoman Empire, and requisitioned by Britain when World War I started, serving proudly in the ranks of the Royal Navy until 1921. Serving in the Navy until 1921. Want to make sure I get the date right. It is quite a journey. Her version in Legends provides 14 12-inch caliber main battery guns and the joint best secondary gun range with her tier at a 5-kilometer range, but she lacks anti-aircraft armament entirely. Well, that's kind of interesting. The 12 guns is pretty cool, that's for sure. Holy cow. All right. Next up is the British Tier VII premium cruiser Plymouth, and the damage dealing machine is here to make a splash. As many as 16 armor-piercing only slinging guns and 2 quadruple tube torpedo launchers will do the talking for her. And yeah, wow, so I think the Minotaur had 10 guns, so this is 16. Bonus, a solid list of consumables including sonar, radar, and smoke generator. This warship will be available in the store from September 19. So I guess the obvious question is, how fast are the guns reloading? Is it going to be like the Vemor or Minotaur? Vemor's pretty fast too, but the Minotaur, or will it be more of a conventional cruiser main gun reload? All right, next up is the Tier 7 premium cruiser Kutsunov, and the old reliable comes back for global XP. Kutsunov will be available in the store for 750,000 global XP starting on August 29. Pick up her distinguished Soviet ballistics and solid fire starting capabilities, spiced up by the smoke generator consumable. All right, so that's something to look forward to. Next is the balance changes, and with the arrival of the fall update, Tier 7 will no longer be matched with legendary tier ships. All right, so this was long awaited. The matchmaking only, the current matchmaking where Tier 7 would be matched with legendary tier was only for one update. So they keep mentioning this all the time. This must be more of a big deal than I really appreciated. But anyway, there it is. We've also implemented the following tweaks for a handful of ships, including Des Moines and the Pan-European Tech Tree destroyers. So first up is the Des Moines, and the heavy cruiser was just really good across the board, so they opted to tone her down a bit with corrections incoming for both of her artillery plus radar stats. The main battery reload time is increased from 5.5 to 6 seconds. HE maximum shell damage is decreased down to 2550, and armor piercing shell damage was decreased down to 4500. Radar consumable duration is decreased from 40 seconds, which was great, down to 30 seconds. So it's still among the highest radar consumable, I think, but it does bring it into a window that a whole bunch of other ships share, the 30-second radar consumable. So the 40 seconds was awesome, but apparently it was too awesome. All right, so the British Tier 7 premium cruiser Belfast 43 gets a whole bunch of buffs here. And it says here that the cruiser has been performing subpar, and they decided to buff it, is basically what it says here. And the only way I was able to make the Belfast 43 halfway decent for my style of play was with the Smogathon route with Tierwit. But the buffs here, main battery reload time has been decreased from 9.5 to 8.5, so that's a second quicker. That's more than 10%, I think. Fire setting chances for HE shells has increased up to 11%, so that's a pretty good increase. And the smoke generator consumable duration is increased from 15 to 20 seconds. So that is great. And that will help the smogathon just a smidge, because when you're doing a smogathon, the duration goes way down and you do tend to go outside of your smoke screen. So anyway, these are a bunch of buffs for the Belfast 43. And then the Soviet Tier VII Premium Cruiser Peter Bagration got a bunch of buffs here, and they want to see more Bagrations out there is basically the bottom line there. Main battery reload time is decreased down to 10 seconds. HP is increased up to 43,000, so that's a pretty good increase right there. And a radar consumable was added to the 4 slots, so that is awesome. I actually like the Peter Bagration. I don't play it very much because I'm trying out other ships, but when I did play it, I did get some pretty good performance out of ships, so I guess I'm going to have to try it out again. All right. And then the Pan-European Tech Tree Destroyer's got a whole bunch of buffs here, and the line offered a specific hybrid gameplay pattern with no access to smoke generator, and proved to be somewhat underwhelming in terms of overall battle contribution and having a learning curve that was a bit too steep. Well, I got used to the lack of a smoke generator and the deal with the underperforming as far as I was concerned, because the stats on most of the destroyers here were outstanding for the torpedoes. What wasn't outstanding was the reduced damage output on each torpedo, as I recall. So like the Scone and I think even the Vostros and the Ostergotland had really quick reloading torpedoes, but the damage was about half of what you would expect. So let's see what they have here. Tier 2 Romulus, main battery reload time is decreased down to 3.5 seconds. The reload time for the upgraded main battery is decreased to 5.5 seconds, so that is good. HE shell damage for the stock main battery is increased up to 1550. Well, that's something. Okay. I'm not sure how many people play the Romulus, but probably some do. A Tier 3 Class Horn and a Tier 4 Visby. The main battery reload time is decreased down to 6.5 seconds. So yeah, so the thing on the Pan-European destroyers, I believe all their turrets traversed really slowly, and for a destroyer, the main gun reload time was not that great. And I think even at 6.5 seconds here, that's not something to be thrilled about, not for me anyway, but this is what it is. The Vostros main battery reload time is decreased to 6.5 seconds. Torpedo launcher reload time has been decreased even more, down to 55 seconds. So that is awesome. And the Scone torpedo reload time is decreased down to 55 seconds. That is also awesome. And the HP has been increased to for the ship up to 13,000 for the Scone. So the one issue that I said previously that was an issue for me is the lack of torpedo damage, and that will still continue to be the case. And it'll be interesting to see whether they believe that the overall battle contribution will have a change here. I think it won't until the torpedo output damage is increased. We resolved an issue with saturation that led to low HP ships surviving despite taking numerous hits from armor-piercing shells. I think this is mostly a deal with will to rebuild, as I've heard. So anyway, this was made possible due to introduction of minor penetration of armor-piercing shells or bombs. When striking a hit location with no HP remaining, the target will take 10% of the shell or bomb damage to their ship HP. Minor penetration cannot occur from secondary battery hits. All right. Added a new penetration ribbon for torpedo bulge penetration. This appears when a torpedo defense is penetrated but no other parts of the armor are effective. In this case, no damage is dealt. This ribbon also appears when shells shatter. A shell shatters anywhere inside a ship. So that should be interesting then to see that pop up when you're firing your shells. Secondary batteries with armor protection will now lose their hit locations after destruction, thus allowing more hits to hit the hull. All right, mobile. There's more good news for players beside the launch of Legends on mobile devices for Canada and the Philippines. You can now link console accounts on mobile devices. I would have thought that's what the deal was to begin with, so that you can log in with your mobile device and make sure that your Bureau project kept going day after day. But okay, campaigns and the lion's share of features from the console version is now available for mobile devices. Okay, I didn't realize that the campaign and the lion's share of features from the console version was not available for mobile devices. Okay, bug fixes. Here we go. Console. Fix some of the water reflections that were, believe it or not, overly reflective. You definitely got to take care of that. Fixed a bug that sometimes caused the sound for aircraft squadron consumables not to play upon activation or cooldown. HMS Lion previously had her casemate armor reduced unintentionally. The thickness now has been returned to its prior state, 32 millimeters. All right, bug fix that sometimes cause the Xbox Series X to suffer from pixelated artifacts. All right, mobile. Fix some ship reflections that shone too brightly in particular weather. Fix the commander skill screen for Apple iPad devices. The order of secondary menu items, containers, recent battles, and settings has been unified with consoles. Fix the bug that caused commander portraits to scale bigger than intended in several cases. And now a haiku. A storm is brewing. Metal, power, and honor. Unleash Musashi. Follow the warrior's code and turn the tide. All right, well, that's it for this new update. It's a lot of stuff here. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you have any questions, maybe I could find the answers for you. This is the Jaguar, and I'll see you on the high seas. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe if you like it.